Hey guys, it's Annie from Anti-Fragile Physical Therapy. I want to take some time to show you what pigeon pose or pigeon stretch looks like. This is a stretch that I will most often use for people who have tightness in the back side of their hips or into their low back. It's one that a lot of people have had experience with either doing yoga practice or just working out over the years. They just learn how to do this stretch, but sometimes it's hard to get right. And I'll show you a couple of modifications that you can use to make it more comfortable and more effective for you. So for pigeon stretch, it's a stretch to get the back of the hip. We're going to start in kind of a quadruped position and then go straight into a lunge from here. So with the lunge, you're going to bring your foot towards your opposite hand. So my left foot here is going to drift over towards my right hand. And then from here, I sink down into the stretch by dropping my knee down to the floor. My back leg is trailing behind me, so I'm getting a little bit of a stretch in the front side of my right hip and my hip flexors, and then a big stretch right here in the back side of my hip. Now from here, you want to be able to relax into the stretch. So you can have your hands here for support. If you feel up to it, you can put a little bit of pressure here, come up a little bit taller, see how that feels, sink into it to get lower, to get even more of a stretch. Now I have a lot of tightness here personally. I feel comfortable adding a yoga block. And for that, we do the same exact thing, get into the same position. But then from here, adding this yoga block underneath my hip back here, I can still feel a significant stretch here, but my pelvis is more level. So I don't feel as wonky. My hips are not dropping from side to side, and I'm not twisting a lot through my midsection to accomplish the stretch. So I get a more effective, more straightforward stretch here, and it just feels a little easier and more compatible with my body. So from here, you can hold this for about 30 seconds up to a minute. I like longer stretches for muscles, and we can sit here and focus on our breathing to let the muscles relax, let our body calm down, and really feel it open up in the back of the hip. With the pigeon pose, usually people will do that laying down on a yoga mat, laying down on the floor, but that might not be accessible to everybody if we have tightness in the front of the hip when you get into those deep hip flex positions. Or if you feel like it's just too hard to get into the stretch. You might not be able to get a good enough stretch on your backside without contorting your body in some different positions. So we have some options to scale the movement. Some people also just find this easier to do based on equipment or if you're at the gym. So you can use a raised surface like a bed. I have a high-low table here, but you can use a bench as well. So you're going to bring your hip up. Your foot is still going to go across your body towards your other shoulder, but then you're going to let your knee fall out to the side. And so here you can focus on letting the knee relax. You're feeling a stretch here. You slide your opposite foot back so you can get a little bit of a hip flexor stretch on your opposite leg when you're standing there. And then you just gently tip your trunk forward to feel that increased stretch here. You can bring your foot in closer to your body to minimize it a little bit. Bring your foot out away from your body to get even more of a stretch. And then you just focus on holding here and breathing for about 30 seconds to a minute to get a nice long stretch. And I would do that a few reps on each side before or after activity.